What's up, Magooners? Back here with a Magoo. So, day 3 of the Magnet Files, where I'm showing how Magnet Warriors can bridge into any deck in the game. So, if you don't think I can bridge it into your deck, leave it in the comment section below and I'll show you it's possible. Today we've got 4 combos I'm showing off. We've got ABC, Dragon Maid, Orcust, and Mitsurugi. Classic Mitsurugi. Every deck bridges into that. So yeah, 4 different combos to showcase. Let's get straight into it. Today I'm on DB because I don't have ABC cards. Alright, so first of all I'm going to show the template for all these combos and the bridge for how we get to each of these engines. So starting off with the Conduction Warrior, we're going to special him by dumping Beta and Plus as always. We can reborn the Beta. Beta's going to search for minus. We can use minus in hand. Fuse off itself and Beta. And we're going to go for the Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum. This will search as always the Magnet Bonding. And then we'll use Magnet Bonding to search for Epsilon. Now we can use our extra normal summon from Plasma Magnum by sending Delusion from deck to grave. Normal summon itself. And this time we need to play the Omega for this combo. So we send the Omega from deck to grave for cost for the Epsilon, and we get to reborn level 4. So we can reborn the Plus. And then we can use Omega. We can destroy the Linear Magnum to summon itself, which will trigger the Linear to add itself back to hand. So this can be important for some combos as we might need a discard for our engine. And then we overlay all 3 of these monsters for Allen version. So yes, Magnet Warriors can search any level 4 monster and normal summon it. So let's get into the specific combos for each deck. So for the first combo, we're going to show off the Dragon Maids. So we get to this exact point where we have the Plasma Magnum, we have Allen version, and this time we can search the Chamber Dragon Maid. And then we can normal summon Chamber Dragon Maid, use its effect, add a Dragon Maid spell or trap. So here we can go for the Dragon Maid Hospitality, which summons a Dragon Maid and then sends one with the same attribute but a different level from deck to grave. We can link off for Striker Dragon to put our Chamber in the grave. Hospitality will then reborn it. This will trigger Chamber Dragon Maid to send from the deck to the grave. Not Chamber, Hospitality. To dump the Chamber. Chamber doesn't really have the most relevant effect. It's one of the big Dragon Maids which aren't the best, but we can banish it from the grave and the Chamber from field to summon Lady's Dragon Maid from the extra deck. Lady's Dragon Maid will trigger on summon to summon a level 4 lower Dragon Maid monster from the deck. So here we go for Parlor. And Parlor can dump Tidying for some extra follow-up. And then we have 2 dragon monsters on board. So we go for the FDK, the Hieratic Seals of Heavenly Spheres. And then we can link off the Allen version and the Plasma Magnum for IP Masquerena. Now here, I forgot to bring back Delusion, but Delusion comes back. And we have Lady's Dragon Maid to fuse off into Xiao in our opponent's turn for the Omni Negate. So Xiao can reborn Parlor for some extra follow-up. And we also have the Delusion. So this is our final end board. We have the Omni Negate from Xiao. We have Dragon Maid follow-up because we have the Tidying and Grave and whatever we wanted to dump off Parlor for extra follow-up. We have Delusion for follow-up and a pop. We have Seals for even more follow-up. So insane amount of follow-up on this combo. And we have IP Masquerena to go into SP, or this deck has a ton of extra deck space, so we can play cards like the Gorgon of Zilithonia, or Underworld Goddess of Heavenly Spheres. So yeah, that is the Dragon Maid combo. Next, we're going to get into Orcust. So same thing, we go through Allen version. This time we search Girsu the Orcust Mech Knight. We can go for normal summon Girsu. Girsu dump the Harp Horror. And then we can make the Galatea Eye. And we have a free discard here, so we can discard the Linear that we added back to get the Babel. We can then go for Galatea. Now we can go Galatea Eye, banishing the Girsu. We can then use the Galatea, shuffling back the Girsu to get our Orcust Crescendo. So this is one of the only Magnet Warrior combos that ends on an Omni Negate trap card. So you don't have to worry about cards like Forbidden Droplet, like Dark Ruler. You always have this Crescendo Omni Negate, which is really, really strong, especially against decks like Radiator Typhoon and Draco Tail, which we know are playing Forbidden Droplet right now. Next we can go for the Harp Horror. You can play a really small Orcust package in this deck. You don't have to go for the Nightmare, but you can if you want. This one is using the smallest package possible. So just 3 Harp, 3 Girsu, 1 Symbol Skelly. So yeah, we can summon Ding here. Dim can attach to the Harp Horror. And then we can go for the Link 4 straight away if you want. So we also have the Delusion. So on this end board we have the Delusion, which is always great, always a ton of follow-up. We have Crescendo for the Omni Negate and Lil Girsu for the Steel. And then we have all the Orcust follow-up, as well as Symbol Skeleton and Ding Girsu set up in the grave for Ascend or for the Protection effect. And there's loads of things you can experiment with Orcust, but that is the Orcust combo. Let's get on to the next one. This one was the most difficult. For this one, you guys need to like and subscribe. I spent hours making this ABC Magnet Warrior combo. So we get to the same point again, and this time we search X Cross Cannon. Now, X Cross Cannon locks you into light monsters from the X deck for the rest of the turn. So this combo was really difficult to figure out, and it uses all 15 extra deck cards. So let's start it out. So first of all, we're going to make the IP straight away so that we can clear some zones, and also that means we can go for our different extra deck plays and still end on the IP because we're only locked for the rest of the turn from the ABC cards. So yeah, we go for the B Buster Drake. We can then link these two off for a Platinum Gadget. This will trigger the B. B will search for any Union monster. So here we search for Y Yare Head, who on summon can equip from the graveyard. So we can use this effect on summon to equip the B from the graveyard. Now here we don't actually want to summon the B because we want to trigger its graveyard effect. So we banish Y Yare Head and Platinum Gadget to summon Union Controller. Now Union Controller and B will trigger in the same chain, both to search for Union cards. So we search Z Zillion Tank and Union Hanger off the Drake and the Union Controller. We can then use the Union Hanger straight away just to grab the A Assault Core. Now Union Controller has an effect to summon a Light Machine Normal or Union from your hand. So we can bring out the Z Zillion Tank with that. Z Zillion Tank will equip a banished Light Machine to it as an equip spell. So we can equip the Y Yare Head. We can then use the Y Yare Head in the spell trap zone to summon itself, and then use it to equip B Buster Drake. B Buster Drake can then summon itself because it's equipped. And then we can trigger Union Hanger to equip a Light Machine Union from deck with a different name. So here we can go for the Union Driver. Union Driver will equip the last ABC piece, the Sea Crush Wyvern. Sea Crush Wyvern can then trigger to summon itself. And here we have 4 level 4s. And we're going to overlay the Y Yare Head and the Z Zillion Tank for Fiendsmith combo. So that's a great way to use your spare bodies when you're locked into light monsters. So we can't make Caesar or Necro equip here, but we can go Lacrima, Lacrima Dump Engraver. Then here's a really cool play. We can overlay Lacrima and Sea Crush Wyvern for the Galaxy Photon Dragon. It searches any Photon or Galaxy card, so we can add a Galaxy Soldier here. And then for our next play, we can link into, well, we can't do that. We can't link into sequence. What you're meant to do is you're meant to reborn the Engraver, and then you link into sequence. But yeah, we can use B Buster Drake to grab out another B Buster Drake. We can then use sequence effect. If you use Engraver, sequence, Requiem and Exton Knight, which would all still be in the grave. We would just have to shuffle back the Lacrima as well. And then we can link off sequence and the Union Controller for Silhouette Rabbit. If you do this combo properly, you'll have 1 extra body. So you can just equip the sequence straight from field to Desiree, and then link off the extra body for the Silhouette Rabbit, and you get to the exact same point. And then Silhouette Rabbit can trigger. This is a light generic extra deck monster that sets up interruption, so really nice in this deck. We can get the Angel Statue Azaroon here. You can choose from a variety of different traps to set here from the Silhouette Rabbit. We can then equip our sequence, so we have the negate from sequence. And now we have Galaxy Soldier, which can summon itself by discarding the B Buster Drake. It will then trigger to add a Galaxy monster from deck to hand. And we just add another Galaxy Soldier because it can add itself. And it's not once per turn to summon from hand, so we can summon it again. And then we can set up another Omni Negate with the Cyber Dragon Nova into Cyber Dragon Infinity. Now, if we take a look in the graveyard, we have B Buster Drake, A Assault Core, and Sea Crush Wyvern to summon the ABC Dragon Buster, as well as Z Zillion Tank, Y Yare Head, and X Cross Cannon to summon the XYZ fusion monster. And we also have Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus, Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus, and Delusion the Magnet Warrior to go for that as well. So we have 3 boss monsters just from the resources in our graveyard, which is incredible. So here we get the ABC Dragon Buster, and you realise we're actually running out of zones. That's how powerful this deck is. So we go Infinity to attach our own Silhouette Rabbit, just so we have enough zones to summon all these boss monsters. So then we go banish Zillion Tank, YERA Head, and X Cross Cannon to summon the XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon, which is another interruption and even more follow-up. And then we banish the 2 Magnet Warriors to summon Delusion the Magnet Warrior. So this is our final end board. We have the trap set off of the Silhouette Rabbit. We have an Omni Negate from Cyber Dragon Infinity, a Negate from the Trap, a Negate from Desiree, a piece of removal from Delusion, a piece of removal from ABC Dragon Buster, a piece of removal from XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon, 2 pieces of removal from IP Masquerade. That's 9 interruptions. 9? 8? 8 interruptions. 9 if you count IP linking off Desiree, and you can use Desiree's graveyard effect. So 9 interruptions, and we have a free discard in the hand, and we still have 4 other cards in hand. So that could add up to a total of 13 interruptions. So yeah, crazy 1-card combo here. This one took a lot of work. If you guys like the ABC deck, make sure to tell me down below. This was the most difficult combo I figured out with this deck so far. Really difficult being locked into those light extra deck monsters, but we made it work. And then for the last combo, classic, we're searching Habakiri. So the Alan Bershan searches the Aramasa. We can go normal Aramasa, add Habakiri, and then we can go from there. Standard kind of Mitsu combo, we go Saji, add Prez here because we've already been through Aramasa and Saji. Ritual spell is a little bit awkward. So we go Prez, tribute the Habakiri. We can search for the Murakumo, and then we can pay 8 and reborn Saji, just to get that extra level 4 body. This is also a deck where you can bridge both ways, because in the standard Mitsu combo you get to 2 level 4s. You can use them to make Gallant Granite, and then you can bridge into the Magnet Warrior plays, which is really nice. So yeah, we can go with Habakiri effect, search out the Mitsurugi Ritual. Then we can go Mitsurugi Ritual to summon from hand. It's always nice to have these points where if your opponent forgot to activate Nib earlier, you can kind of punish them for it here, because we can overlay 2 monsters into the Dugares. Now Dugares draws 2 to discard 1, and we have the free discard here in the Linear Magnum. So we can draw 2, and we can discard the Linear Magnum. So this can represent 2 draws here, and then we discard. And then we still have the materials for IP Masquerena and the Mitsurugi Mirror to bring back Futsu. We can then trigger the Murakumo, grab out the Purification, and we still have Delusion Engraved to reborn itself. So here we get to keep the Earthlock on the board. So we have the Earth Floodgate, which is incredible against Yummy decks and against Fiendsmith decks, making all their monsters into Earth Fiends and Earth Beasts. We have the Mitsu interruptions with Murakumo, Futsu, and Purification. We have IP, which can make a Dynamondo, an Underworld Goddess, an SPE. So many different options. 2 draws and a free discard, and then also Delusion is a ton of follow-up and is an even stronger interruption when all your monsters are Earth. So yeah, that's how you bridge into the Mitsurugis. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's 4 different decks you can bridge into with Magnet Warriors, and make sure to stay tuned, like and subscribe, and check out tomorrow's video where I'm going to be showing 4 more decks you can bridge into with Magnet Warriors. This deck can bridge into anything. Challenge me in the comment section down below if you don't think I can bridge into your deck. And check out Ryu for any OCG products, and Darren in my description down below for Pokemon TCG products. And if you want any one-on-one coaching with Magnet Warriors, make sure to check out my Metafy too. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.